The Tina Peters tragedy continues in all its ugliness in a Colorado court today, in a hearing that was closed to the public. But apparently, they're now trying to prevent the recent explosive testimony that we shared with you here on The Absolute Truth of a former high-ranking Venezuelan government official from being included in Peters' ongoing attempts to appeal the court's ruling that led to her unjust imprisonment. That whistleblower testimony is absolutely essential to her case. In fact, the entire Tina Peters case is so sordid, corrupt of an affair that it should have never gone forward anyway. This whistleblower confirms everything that Tina Peters has said about her elections, for which she sits in prison. All Peters did was uphold her constitutional duty to Mesa County, Colorado, as she served in 2020 as an election official in 2022, because she dared to challenge the official narrative that Joe Biden had inexplicably won more votes in the 2020 election than even Obama had won in his 2 elections. Now, all the evildoers at the same time from Georgia in the 2020 Georgia presidential election fraud continue living their best lives in the Peach State, whereas President Trump has yet to intervene in the Peters case in Colorado. It looks like he might be finally addressing the blatant election integrity violations in Georgia. Watch.
Okay, I won it very big the last time, and I won it big the first time, and I won it big the second time, but we had criminals that didn't allow, I hope they're going to go into that. I hope they go into the votes which are being stored in Fulton County and take a real look at those votes, okay, because I won it the second time too.
We do know that Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia has personally been pushing the DOJ and the president to actually investigate the corrupt Peach State election. So perhaps this is finally a signal that he's going to act both to fix the problems in Georgia as well to free Gold Star mom Tina Peters. We're now joined by Tina's attorney, Peter Ticktin. Once again, he's the founder and senior managing partner at the Ticktin Law Group. Peter, I saw this yesterday from Tina's official account, the announcement about the hearing to and clarify if I'm wrong. Please explain what's going on here. They're trying to completely remove this deposition. It was a videotaped deposition with absolutely explosive claims and confirmations about what many of us have reported on related to our elections. They're trying to completely remove this from the case. Is that what's happening? I think you're on mute, Peter.
I'm sorry. After
okay.
How you doing, Emerald? After the election, I'm sorry, now I don't even know what I'm listening to. I'm confusing everything altogether. After the petition for the writ of habeas corpus was filed, and after we went through an exercise in terms of defining whether or not we're going ahead with all the different defenses we have, basically, or just going ahead on the basis of the fact that she's being held due to the fact that there's a violation of the freedom of speech. I mean, the judge is basically holding her, saying that she's more dangerous than people that commit violent crimes because of what she may say. Can you believe that? That's really what this case is all about. But what we wanted to do is we wanted to let the judge know that she's actually innocent. That she's definitely innocent in any event. But it's even beyond the fact that what she did was the right thing. And it wasn't just a constitutional right. It's more than that. There's a federal statute that requires the person who's in charge of this equipment, which was her. She was the one in charge. And they have to hold all the evidence regarding the election for 22 months. And if she doesn't, then there's a federal statute where she would have been committing a crime. So instead of this imaginary crime, it would have been a real crime if she didn't do what she did. We wanted the judge to see that the election really was fixed. And we have evidence of that. And we know we're calling it a deposition, but frankly, the other side wasn't present. It was only our side that was basically getting this sworn statement. And there's no reason we shouldn't be able to have it in there But we should win this petition for writ of habeas corpus with or without that evidence. Because the main thrust of the petition for writ of habeas corpus is that the judge, the state court judge, is holding her in jail while her appeal is pending, when she would otherwise be out, except for the fact that he's afraid of what she may say. And in America, we've got the right to say things as long as it's not going to start a riot, cause criminality to occur, etc. I mean, there are limits, but she's anywhere near any of those limits.
No, and I was so glad, though, when this deposition was entered into the official court record, right? Because we've needed something like that as part of the evidence file. So what will happen? You say, it sounds to me like you think the judge will probably honor the petition to remove this deposition.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether he does or he doesn't. I'm fine with that. Absolutely fine with that. In fact, part of my reluctance, and Patrick McSweeney is really strong on this as well, is that we don't want to complicate the case because it's so simple and it's so right that we should have it. Every time we throw in more evidence and more other things, I mean, yes, it becomes more convincing, but we're way over the line of being able to be convincing on this. But I do have something new for you if you're interested.
Yeah, I'm always interested. So I never know what you're going to throw at me, so I get excited when you're on the schedule. What do you got for us today, Peter?
Okay, well, you've heard of Scott Leindecker. Okay.
Yes, he's the guy buying Dominion.
He bought Dominion. He's the CEO of No Inc. Or is it No Wink? I'm not sure.
That's cute. I hadn't thought of that.
This guy's dirty. Okay. I can't say how dirty, but he is the CEO of No Inc. And No Inc. had a fellow working for them, named Rocky Solomon. Now, Rocky Solomon, in this company, he ran the Russian elections, the Afghanistan elections, the Egypt elections, the Mongolia elections, the Georgia elections, not the state of Georgia, but Georgia over at the USSR, the Montenegro, and the Ukrainian, which is important, elections. So, I mean, he's running the dirty elections around the world, and he's working for this man. And throughout the Biden administration, he was the government coordinator for No Inc. to the U.S. agencies. And this was during the Biden administration, where his function was basically make sure that Donald Trump didn't get reelected, or elected again, I should say. So, this is a guy that's now saying he's the man, and he's going to clean up Dominion machines, which is impossible. You can't clean those machines up. They are so polluted. Really, what we're seeing here is just another coat of a new lipstick on the same old pig, if I might use that expression. Okay.
That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite expressions, actually. So here's what it seems to me, Peter, from conversations I've been having with my colleagues, and maybe you can provide some insight into this, and going behind the scenes, talking to them, saying, okay, this is what I'm hearing, or this is what you're hearing. I have noticed that obviously Leindecker and someone is coordinating conversations with populist media, right-wing media, right, that we typically respect, to try to create positive coverage for Leindecker. The way it's being coordinated feels to me that this is being supported by perhaps someone in the Trump administration or someone on the outside from Trump world. Do we know if that's true and who that is? Because someone is setting up these interviews with colleagues I really respect to suggest that, oh, he's really good, he's a conservative.
Well, we all have wishful thinking, but the fact of the matter is that Donald Trump can't afford to make a mistake here. Okay,
No.
we have all kinds of very, very important things that have to be done. Tina Peters, it's absolutely necessary that she's released from prison, for God's sakes. It's necessary we get compensation for J6 people. It's important that with the weaponization that was inflicted on America, and believe me, it was much more than anybody realizes. I mean, I've been doing some pardon work lately, and I'm hearing from people all over the United States who, in different categories, police officers, upper middle class, doctors who were against the jab, etc. There were a whole bunch of areas where the weaponization was strong. We need pardons there. These are important things, but there's one pivotal issue. There's one pivotal thing where if we make a mistake, we're cooked. And that is that the 2026 election has to be fair. If the machines are involved, it will not be fair. They will pull out all stops, and we're gonna lose the election in mass. I mean, there's a reason that Joe Biden had 81 million votes. Now, Dominion got frustrated in terms of what was happening from Serbia. There were certain computers that basically did not operate due to the bravery and the wonderfulness. I don't know how to describe who it is. I don't even know who it is, but basically, there's a reason we won the last election, and it's because they weren't able to use the machines. But they're never going to make that mistake again. They're never going to have a lack of redundancy. They're never going to have these machines exposed and able to be destroyed again. So the fact of the matter is we go forward with the 2026 elections with machines, and our gooses are cooked. Okay, there will be a vast majority in the House, and there'll be such a majority in the Senate they might even be able to remove the president after the House impeaches them, because that's all that we're going to see after 2026 if there's an election where the machines are in play. But if the machines are out of play, if it's paper ballots, hand counted, no mail, what we're going to see then is half of the people that are in the House that are Democrats are going to be gone. And we're going to see the fair elections that are going to come about in the Senate. Because how could it not be a sweeping majority for President Trump, who has now led the world in terms of getting rid of so many wars? I mean, I know there's one left to go, but look at his record in everything in terms of the U.S. economy, a balanced budget. I mean, look what he's doing. And yet they're going to make it. And everybody will know. If the machines are in play, everybody will know that it was fixed, but they won't have anything they can do about it. And we will lose all of our rights. We will lose America. So America depends on the 2026 elections. And that's why they're pulling out all the stops to get some new guy in there to pretend that the Dominion machines are going to be cleaned up. No machines, or we're done.
I believe this deal is just a way to protect the machines as well. And just to sum up sort of the news you broke, and we'll dive more into this next week because I know research is currently being conducted. You've identified an employee, or at least a former employee, that kind of bounces around on the election scene, had worked at the Carter Center, which we've talked about a lot on this show, and it's problematic, worked in elections in countries like Ukraine, and Egypt, which does not instill confidence. And once we know a little bit more about this person, and some of the other figures within this new group, we'll be reporting on it, because that's what we do, Peter, because our elections are so vital to the preservation of our constitutional republic, and we have just a few short months to save it. We're down to just a few months now, Peter. Thank you for what you do. Give Tina our best and let her know that we're still reporting and still praying for her.
I will, for sure.